Do you know that you can 3D print without the layer lines? You can print with different textures, more or less definition, customize, paint the areas that you want, and the best part, all of that inside the slicer, and it's super easy to do. And for that, we're gonna be using Fuzzy Skin, which is a feature inside the slicer that allows you to print on an irregular way, making your prints more matte, rougher, but it's perfect to hide those small imperfections that we get in 3D printing. In this video, I'm going to explain what is Fuzzy Skin, the ways you can use it, and if it's worth it or not. All of that hassle-free, and I promise you can do it even if you're a beginner. Let's go. So Fuzzy Skin is a function inside the slicer that messes up the path of your G-code, but on purpose, with an intention. So instead of actually doing the contour as it's supposed to, it creates that little noise around, creating that rough aspect that if you put layer on top of layer, creates this really different surface that in my opinion adds a lot of value in a lot of different situations, and I've already done videos talking about it. So as a result, you get this rough and matte finish. But on the high side, it also hardens up completely the layer lines and the Z-sim. This is why a lot of people are gravitating towards this technique to use this aspect to enhance the quality and the style of their prints. And how can you apply the Fuzzy Skin? So on Orca Slicer and all the variations of Orca Slicer, like the Bamboo Studio, Create Print, you can find the Fuzzy Skin option under the Others tab. There's a little special area, and this is where the Fuzzy Skin is usually located. And usually you have 4 different ways to apply this. The None, which is not going to apply any Fuzzy Skin at all, but allows you to paint areas in which you want the Fuzzy Skin to be applied. But I'm going to get into that in a little bit. The Contour, which is the most common mode, which only applies the Fuzzy Skin on the outermost walls of your model, so it's not going to apply any difference in the texture inside of your model. Usually when we have connections or when we just want the outer side to be with the Fuzzy Skin, this is the one that we use, and to be honest, is the most common use of it as well. The third option is Contour and Holes, and here it's not going to apply on the outermost walls, but also in the holes that you're gonna have in your model. So every full perimeter that we have is gonna come with a Fuzzy Skin applied. And this is very useful if your holes are apparent and you want them to have the same texture, or if you just want the whole thing to kind of look the same. But this can be kind of dangerous, especially if you have connectors or if you need to make your model fit inside one another. Then it's going to change the outer dimension of the model. It's going to change a little bit the gaps that you have planned, and then you might end up with a model that is flawed, that is not going to work really well. And then we have the most intense of all, which is all walls. And with that, all the print gets the Fuzzy Skin applied, inside and outside, and the texture gets stronger as well. But on the high side, your print gets slower, it can affect the resistance of the model, and it will affect the gaps and tolerances that you have designed. So only use it if you really know what you're doing and you want a desired effect. To be honest, it's an option that I don't even remember if I've ever used. You also have the possibility to pick where you want to apply your Fuzzy Skin. And for that, you can use a feature called Paint on Fuzzy Skin. You click on this little icon that almost looks like a brick wall with a paintbrush, or you can just press H alternatively as a shortcut. And from that point on, it's pretty much just like painting a color as you would on a colored model. And in order to make the region that you painted work, you gotta pick the None option, as I mentioned before. Now we go to the second thing, which is how is the Fuzzy Skin even generated? And in here we also have 3 different options. The first one is the Displacement, and this is the OG Fuzzy Skin, if you can even call it like that. So with that, your nozzle literally trembles around, going inside and outside the wall, kind of like interfering with the original path from one side to the other really fast. The result, a very visible texture, a really rough print, but that hides really well layer lines and the Z-sim. However, you do need to pay attention because your print will get slower because the nozzle is moving from one side to the other, so you don't get as much acceleration as you would if you haven't applied the Fuzzy Skin. As a consequence, it generates a lot more stress to your printer, so make sure that everything's well calibrated and that you're doing your maintenance really well as well. But it does make a very cool effect. And now let's go to mode number 2, which is the extrusion. So in here, what changes is not the path in which your nozzle is going, but the amount of plastic being extruded. A little bit more, a little bit less, creating the effect of the rougher surface. The result is a slightly less rough surface as you would on the displacement mode, and it can generate some small tiny holes on your models, especially if your filament is not properly stored. And then we have mode number 3, which is called combined. As you might imagine, it's a combination of the displacement and the extrusion. A little bit of variation in the path, a little bit of extrusion variation. The result is a nice texture, a lot less stress on your printer, and to be honest, this one is my preferred method. It changes a little bit the path, it changes a little bit the extrusion, you get a cool effect, and you don't overcompensate on either one of these two, the path or the extrusion. And then you also have 4 different noise types for your fuzzy skin, which is cool as well. The first one is the classic, which is total random, and it's perfect to hide the layer lines. Berlin is a little bit more organic, smoother, and more natural. Billow, which is the cuter and softer surface that groups a little bit the forms together. Ridged, which is more aggressive and resembles a little bit a rock, a stone, something rougher as well. And last but not least, we have the Voronoi, which is already kind of like a classic in 3D printing. It gives you more of a scale or a mosaic. In my opinion, it does look like the Thing from Fantastic Four a little bit, and this is what you get with the Voronoi. But for me, the Rigid, the Perlin, and the Billow, they are very similar. They don't vary too much from one another. The Classic is more of a smooth version of these 3, and Voronoi is the strongest. So now let's talk a little bit about the settings, because you don't need to mess too much in order to get a good result. All you gotta do is be very intentional and tweak the settings that actually make a difference. And the first one is fuzzy skin point distance. The bigger is the point distance, is as if you have less points on this perimeter, so your wobbles, your waves that you're gonna make are gonna get longer and you're gonna get further from one another, creating a rougher texture. The finer you get, the smaller you get this number, the finer this texture is gonna be, closer they're gonna be from one another. So this is not how wide your texture is going to be. It's not how long you are going to go outside of that original path or how much more filament you're extruding. What this actually changes is how many of these points of interference you're creating. So the more you create, finer it gets less rougher, it gets a more detailed, kind of like a detailed texture, and the less you get more of a rougher and less detailed texture. What I usually do here is I select that object, I duplicate it, and then I change per object and try a few different variations in here. You're able to see really well in the G-code what's the final texture is gonna be like. So test a few different options and see which ones you like the most. And this next one, which is the fuzzy skin thickness, really tells how much you are deviating for the first original object. So it really defines how much the texture is popping outside your original models. And my rule of thumb here, don't overdo it. With a 0.4 nozzle, something between 0.2 and 0.3 works really well. If you put a smaller value at one point, the slicer is not going to slice at all, which makes sense because the deviation is too small. If you put a value much bigger than this, the slicer is gonna stop you, and it makes sense because if you put this number too long, you're going to completely destroy your design and it's not gonna be worth it at all. But it's really up to you to decide, test which one you think you like the most, and comment down below which is the setting that you are using on fuzzy skin distance and thickness. If you keep on scrolling down, you see that you have the option to either apply it or not on the first layer. My take, it's not gonna change too much. Don't apply it. Make sure that your first layer is your first layer configuration. This is something that I always tell and I keep telling. Your first layer is sacred. Regardless of what you change on your settings, change from the second layer on. Then it's fine. Your first layer is what ensures that you have a proper base for your entire print. So don't change it. Now let's talk a little bit about the different applications, when to use and when not to use the fuzzy skin. The first and most important application is to hide the layer lines. This is the most common use, and in the majority of the cases, applying the fuzzy skin does make your layer lines completely invisible. It's harder to distinguish them because you have a lot more information going on the surface of your object. The second one is simple as well because it makes it look good, especially for home decor items. A lot of people prefer that matte, rougher finish that does not give a 3D printed look. And for those applications, the fuzzy skin is really good because you apply it, even if you do like a very subtle texture, it still gives you a completely different style of surface. So people don't automatically associate with something 3D printed. For home decor items, this is really good and it can help you boost the perceived value of the printed product. It makes it look a lot more like clay, like a stone. And these products, they are usually more expensive. They're usually handcrafted, so they tend to value a little bit more than a 3D printed product. So when you apply the fuzzy skin and you get that same feeling, this is what transforms the perceived value of your print and make your product feel a bit more premium. And when are you not supposed to use the fuzzy skin at all? Well, you should absolutely avoid using fuzzy skin for technical prints. Prints that you do need to make them fit, prints that you do need to have a proper dimension because it will alter your dimensions. It will alter your tolerances. Things are not gonna fit, things are not gonna click. If you need them to fit on a determined space, it's not going to work. So even if you think it's not gonna change too much, it's not altering too much, try it out, but I highly do not recommend you to use, especially because in these models, the aesthetics is not as important as its functionality. So it does not make sense for you to add something that it adds to the aesthetic, but compromises on the dimension and the precision of what you're printing. So anything that you need to click, they need to rotate, they need to make it fit, or even if you need a fast print, because all of these things, they do alter your final time. Imagine the first one, that when you have the deviation from the original path, as I said before, you are not going to be having the same acceleration that you would on a regular print because you're going to be going from one side to the other. So the printer cannot reach the exact same speed, even if you set your print to go on that speed. It's not gonna happen. Acceleration is not there. It will make your print slower. So to sum it all up, fuzzy skin is a fairly recent feature, and we are starting to see more and more applications of it. People are using it more and more, and we are starting to see how cool it gets. In my opinion, it's one of the coolest features that we have on our slicers these days, especially because you are able to distance yourself from that 3D printed look, which I like because I'm a 3D printer fanatic, but a lot of people, especially clients, they tend to associate that with something a little bit cheaper. So it's good for you to use if you want to add more value to your prints. So my final take is start simple, pick a model that you test different variations of it, and get to your default fuzzy skin configuration and start applying to the models that you feel it's gonna look best with the fuzzy skin. And if this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video, and even share it with who you think is gonna make the most off of these tips. And also don't forget to tell me in the comments below in which applications you think fuzzy skin changes the game. I'll see you in the next one. Happy printing. Bye-bye.